All right, guys, welcome back again. So today we're going to move from our I can statement and our objective first, as usual. Heading, name, date, English class, Mrs. Cáceres English class, grade and section. The topic for today is language conventions, and our objective is to analyze the text to understand the verb consistency as well. Our I can statement is I can understand the story and follow the tense shift. Now remember, if you need time to copy this down, you can just pause the video or you can rewind and come back to it later. So as I was saying, today we're going to be focusing on the language conventions in the story of the women in aviation. The language conventions we're going to be focusing on today is consistent verb tenses. In this lesson, you will learn about the importance of using the correct verb tense to clarify meaning and of using a single tense unless you have a good reason to switch. Here's an example. Coleman's mother, who had been a slave, encouraged all of her children to attend school in order to better themselves. Encouraged, as you can clearly see, is in the past tense. Had been is in the past perfect tense. The switch shows that the mother's time as a slave came earlier. So as you continue to read Women in Aviation, you'll notice how the authors consistently use the past tense and switch only when necessary to make the meaning clearer. So I thought that a nice PowerPoint presentation would be a way for us to better understand. So, do I use the present tense to maintain consistency, or do I need the past tense instead? This presentation covers recognizing appropriate verb tense from a given time frame or a context. A tense shift item on an objective test might look like this. So this is just an example to see if you guys could recognize it. Here's the sample item. When King was a puppy, he chewed toys and furniture. Now that he's an adult, he wanted to chew the mail carrier most of all. Would the example of a tense shift be A, is, B, was, C, wants, or D, no change is necessary? That's right. The correct answer would be wants. See, it couldn't be wanted because in the first example, you have a view into the past. Then it goes to the present. So there's no need for this to be in the past tense. Use present perfect tense to indicate current regular actions. Present tense, verb plus S equals singular, verb plus nothing equals plural. Present perfect tense, we use has or have plus the past participle. For example, Jeffrey goes to the gym 6 days a week where he has gained not only muscle, but also discipline. I have gained attention from women too, he says. Use past perfect to indicate a past action that occurred before another past action. Past tense, regular equals verb plus ed. Irregular forms vary. Past perfect tense, had plus past participle. Jeffrey had lifted free weights for over an hour before someone mentioned the rip in his shorts. It's a good thing I have nice glutes. Use the progressive tenses to indicate an ongoing action that occurs as another action happens. Progressive tenses form of be, verb plus ing. Jeffrey was showing off when he tore a muscle in his shoulder. Ouch, that had to hurt. When logic permits, you can mix past present tense with future. For example, because he went to the gym today, Jeffrey will reward himself with a triple bacon cheeseburger for lunch. After he weighs himself tomorrow, he will regret the poor food choice. Because I ate badly, I will have to do more crunches at the gym. So, could and would is the same past tense of can and will. For example, Jeffrey thought he will have enough energy for his workout, but skipping breakfast meant that he cannot complete his training. So here are the changes that would have to be made. We would go with would instead of will and could instead of can. You would have had the same problem, he says. So, we're going to stop there. I hope that clears up a little bit about language conventions for you guys. What we're going to do now is, since we've already gone through the entire story, it's time for us to check our understanding. So make sure you're logged in onto the website. And let's start with the first question. The authors include information about women hot air balloonists in order to A, prove that women tend to avoid careers in aviation, B, give examples that help readers know what an aeronaut is, C, explain that women have been interested in aviation for a long time, or D, entertain readers with amusing stories about women who inspired pilots. Make your choice, and once you have, check and see if you got it right or wrong. 2. Which fact from the selection most clearly explains why Harriet Quimby and Bessie Coleman died? F. Both pilots performed daredevil maneuvers in the air. G. They did not take safety precautions that are standard today. H. Their plane suddenly malfunctioned during test flights. J. Both women were victims of racial and gender prejudice. Make your choice and check to see if you got it correct. And finally, number 3, the author's main purpose for ending the selection by mentioning Bessie Coleman's flight training is to A, show one effect of her inspiring example, B, remind readers that she died doing something she loved, C, explain how women today learn to become pilots, or D, persuade readers to consider a career in aviation. So again, make your choice and then check to see if you got it right. Now, once you guys are done with checking your understanding, it's time to analyze the text of the story. So, in analyzing the text, you guys can also work here online. You can type in your answer, not a problem. Just give it a second, it takes a while to load. There we go. First one, reread paragraph 5. What impression of Harriet Quimby did the authors create by using facts and quotations? And when they say impression, like what impression does she give you? So you guys can say, she gives me the impression that, and then you start writing out your answer. Again, once you're done, you just submit it, and I will see what your answer is. Question 2. Cite the evidence. Reread paragraphs 11 and 12. Based on your evaluation of the text details in these paragraphs, what conclusion can you draw about Bessie Coleman's personality? Fill out this chart to show support for your conclusion. Textual evidence, your experience based on that, and what conclusion you can come to. Question 3. Compare. In what ways were Harriet Quimby and Bessie Coleman probably most alike? So you start, they were alike mostly because, and then you start writing out your answer. You're comparing them. You're trying to find similarities between the two of them. 4, analyze the text. Evaluate. Do you think the authors presented Bessie Coleman's life in an overly positive way? Why or why not? Again, yes, comma, because, and then you give your reason. Oops, sorry for that. Or if you don't believe so, you say no, comma, because, and then you give your reason why not. Okay, and finally, number 5, analyze the text. Notice a note. Think about Harriet Quimby's statement. Flying is easier than voting. What situation does her comment highlight? It means like, what does she mean by that? How does the quote help the authors achieve their purpose? So you write out your answer once you have it. All right, guys, well, that's it for me today. I hope that was a lot of help. I hope you enjoyed reading about women in aviation. See you next time. Bye.